Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Gooner Gathering. I am award-winning comedian Gooner Lee Meach, joined by the poshest man in sports entertainment, Posh Bertie. Hello, mate.
Hello. You're not an award-winning comedian according to TikTok, apparently. I don't know what they're thinking, but that's for them to decide. Hello, I'm doing good.
Absolutely. We'll deal with that situation shortly. But first, let's say hello to the wonderfully talented Fran. Hello, mate.
Hello. Sorry, it's been a while. Hello.
It's been a while.
I've been super busy getting on with my artwork and stuff. Thank you for having me back on. Looking forward to chatting everything out about Arsenal with you guys, and I think we're going to discuss some of the Man U controversy as well. So looking forward to it.
Okay, so just jumping into the chat real quick. Look who's in on the chat here. It's Sam Wilson. He's supposed to be here. Oh yeah, he's just putting another 50p in his computer. So hopefully he'll be there in a minute. And there he is, the man, the legend, Niall Kane is here. Good to see us all there. Oh look, I think we have another guest. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. He's just a sexy boy. It's Sam Wilson. Hello.
Hi.
Sam.
How are you, mate? It's a good long time no see.
He turns up when he wants, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. But we trust the process, and he's here. It's good to have you all here. What a lovely looking panel we have here. So, there you go. Niall Kane says a special hello to Sam as well. So there we go. So, introductions all done. I think we'll probably best talk about the Palace game first. I've got a few other subjects to talk about as well, but we'll jump into the Arsenal thing first. Unfortunately, I haven't prepared my match graphic, but I've done other things as well. But basically, we had a couple of changes around the starting lineup from the Europa League defeat. Obviously, we've got a couple of injuries now. And we've obviously Tomiyasu seems like he's got a bit of a serious issue. We'll come to that in a minute. Saliba's out. Rob Holding had his first Premier League start yesterday. Zinchenko, like always, playing at left back again. Kind of thought he might be given a rest, but he wasn't. Jesus was on the bench again. So probably let's go around in a circle. So we'll go to Posh, then Fran and Sam, then we'll go again. All right. Thank you for sharing the video on Facebook, Sam. Very, very much appreciate it. So, Posh Bertie, your thoughts on the starting lineup first up, mate?
Yes, we spoke about this on Twitch. I was concerned about how we'd be a bit tired going into this game because of the Europa League match, and it's been a few days since then. Only a few days since then. And but you know what? Looks like I didn't have anything to worry about because we played very well. And we ended up winning the game. I thought it was going to be tough. I actually predicted a 1-0 win. I thought it was going to be one of those games where we had to slug out a win, but it wasn't that. I think Palace did have a few chances, though, in the first half. There was one where they could have made it 1-0, but we took care of that. And the lineup, yes, I was pleased with it. Obviously, Saliba was missing, and that was a bit of a blow, but I thought the team performed quite well overall.
Absolutely. Fran, you're next.
Can I chip in on what Niall said? So he said Arsenal were outstanding against Palace. I believe Arsenal can win the league now. I can see City dropping points along the way. I actually completely agree with that. I think we can never rule out us dropping points as well. Oh my gosh. Hello, BX. Thank you. I love this guy.
Hello. Welcome.
Thanks for joining us. Yes, I'm with my Gooner Gathering friends who are super knowledgeable, and I feel like a massive rookie compared to them in terms of football knowledge. So I can see us dropping points as well, but we must remember that they've got the Champions League as well. I think they've got I can't remember how many games they've got compared to us, but it's like more than double or something, like with all their cup competitions as well. So I think when push comes to shove, I wouldn't be surprised if Pep and the team mentally prioritize the Champions League. But equally, it's just so hard to call. But I'm with Niall. I think we can win it now. I'm on the train. We're going to win it. You know, that's that. I'm on the train. We're gonna win it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But why not enjoy these last 10 games? And let's hope
Absolutely.
to go up. But at the moment, it's in our hands, and I don't know how many times I've said that, and we have managed to lose like an 8-point lead. But this season's different. I think the resolve they've shown and their mentality is different. So I think we're gonna do it.
Niall came with a very, very nice little comment there. Your painting work has been second to none and outstanding, Fran. Seen a few of you on your personal social media page, Twitter and Insta. We'll do all the socials later on. But yes, Fran has been a very, very busy girl. And she's doing some awesome work. So proud of you, mate. You know that. Mr. Wilson, sir.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned to say that my cynical side, that's been an Arsenal fan for a very long time, is very concerned at saying we will do something, because I've seen an awful lot of times when it's been very close to we'll actually do something and it's never come true. So my really cynical side still can't accept. I can accept that we're in the running, but I can't entertain anything other than that, even though like we are in the better position at the moment. I still can't contemplate it until it's finished, because I've watched Arsenal for too long and seen too many bad things to kind of warrant me thinking that way. But yeah, it was a good bounce back, I suppose. That's what needed to happen. I'm a bit concerned that if Saliba's out for longer than Holding's okay in a game like Crystal Palace, but Holding is not okay in a game like Liverpool or Man City that's coming up.
Exactly what I said on Twitch.
So that is my main concern. If it's any longer than the kind of not so serious that we've seen, then I would go as far as saying that would tip it more in the favour of City if he's out for a long time. Because I think he's that key and that vital. So, yeah, I'm just waiting on that before I say anything, kind of thing, because I believe that's got the ability to kind of derail everything that we're doing at the moment, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll give a big up to, I presume with the wave, Fran, you know this?
Halimi, I think.
Halimi?
And big up VX Gunner as well. First time viewing. Subscribe.
It's always nice to have new people around. Hopefully we'll spread our wings everywhere at the moment. We're going out on YouTube, we're out on Facebook, and we're out on Twitter. We'll probably put this, if we can keep this under an hour tonight, I'll be able to put it over to Twitch as well. So that'll be amazing. So, big up, everybody.
But saying that in the same breath, Man City have still got some really tough games, and that Bayern Munich 2-legger is going to take a lot out of them.
Fantastic.
And they're going to kind of be there. They've got up and towards the end of the season, they've got teams that are going to be fighting to stay up.
Yeah.
So they're going to give it absolutely everything as well. So,
playing relegation teams like at this stage of the season is just so tough. Like,
their last 3 games are the last 4. They've got Leeds at home, Everton away, and then Chelsea. So in that space of 3 games, that's 2 that are potentially going to be fighting for their lives down the bottom. So
the bottom is so tight as well. There's like 8. Isn't there like 8 or 9 teams within like 2-3 points of each other? At least there were about a week ago. It's so exciting. It's really exciting.
The joy of the Premier League, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, for me, makes it the greatest league in the world, to be fair. The teams are so close to each other. Anyone can beat anybody. That's why I've always said on all the streams that we do, I'm just looking at the next game and then the next game, and then I'm not going to make any rash decisions. I'm not going to rag any rash claims.
I am.
And you can do that. You know, that's the joy of having a platform like this, right? Yeah, it makes it fun.
It's worth noting that we've still got Man City, Liverpool, Newcastle, those teams, even Chelsea to play as well, and those are going to be very tough games for Arsenal. And I think Man City, yes, you're right about they've got a big Champions League tie, and that might take an effect on the players. But City have something that we do lack, I'm afraid, and that's squad depth.
Mhm.
So it might not be an issue that they might have, I guess,
Yeah.
in terms of trying to get players. Rotating players, I think they can do that quite easily.
I just think
But
if
we'll
there's
have to see
ever,
how it goes. It's
if
worth.
there's
I'm going to be cautious.
if
Yeah,
there's
me
ever a
too.
season though where I think we can get something out of those 3 games, it's this season. I
Yeah.
mean, even if we go a goal down, like concede first, you've seen like the attitude of the boys to come back and win it. I just fully back them like to do it, and now they're all saying 11 cup finals, and I think they can pull it off. But we'll just have to see. I was feeling super cautious, but I'm fed up of like ruining this amazing run of form with like doubting it and trying to think what could go wrong. But like I totally get where you're coming from, because I was there like last week. It's only this week where I've had a little mini like screw it revelation. So.
Nice. I mean, here's the other thing as well. As sad as it is that we fell by the wayside in the Europa League on Thursday, it does mean that sort of Thursday fixtures now away from our list. So it's basically a little bit easier in terms of our running, I guess. You're right in what you're saying about squad depth and stuff. But then, like unlike City, for example, will be playing in the Champions League. We will get proper Arsenal in a second. We won't have to worry about so many games. So maybe there's a bit of a balance.
I know it does suck, and we were shocking coming out of the the Europa League performance was terrible. Like the team was a shambles, and I just thought there's no way like this isn't going to affect us in the Prem. But they've shown that they can just separate that form with the Prem, which is a whole different like ball game for them basically. And now they're not going to have to be distracted by 2 games in 1 week. The whole week it will be about tactics, like building up to whoever we're playing at the weekend. So yeah, that is on our side as much as it does. I was so angry about the Europa League exit and the fact we've kind of thrown these cups away, but we've just got to turn it into a positive now, and how that could help us in the final 10 games in the Prem.
I just, after kind of all the disappointment died down of the game, I just thought, I hope that's the last I ever see of the Europa League. I just really hope, because it's been so boring over the last, how long have we been in it? 7 or 8? Is it that long? I want to say it's that long.
2017, so 6 years?
Yeah, so almost.
Yeah,
but it's just been so boring over those 6 or 7 years that I've been in it, that Arsenal have been in it. I've just failed to get excited at all. And when I did, it was for the final. And then that kind of backfired on me. But yeah, I'm just so pleased to not be playing teams that, no disrespect, some of them we've played and they've had a day job in the day and then come to play football in the evening. So I'm just pleased.
Fair enough. Well, let's hope you're right. I mean, I think there's a fair chance we'll be in the Champions League at some stage next season.
We need 1 point to do it.
Oh, someone's been doing their maths. I'm impressed, Bosch. Excellent work as ever. I want to
read it on the
address
internet, but, we need 1 point to get Champions League football.
I'll have a little celebration when we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting to 1K subs, yes, that's a dream, and then we can actually dream about taking over the world like we're going to. We are a little bit of a way to get there. So anyone who is watching, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, make sure you don't miss a video. Thank you very much. But so we talk about bouncing back, getting back into the swing of things. We were kind of worried about a negative effect after the Europa League exit. So concerns sort of allayed very quickly with Martinelli bouncing back from penalty miss to score an opening goal.
Yes, I'm very pleased for him. He needed that, and he redeemed himself straight away. It was a great goal as well. Was it Saka with the assist? I can't really remember, but
yes.
Put it towards Martinelli, and he fired it in the back of the net, which is what he needed. Very good, 1-0 up, and we looked like we were in control going into the game. So I'm pleased that Martinelli has managed to bounce back.
Francesca? You're up next.
Oh, thank you, VX Gunner. Yeah, no, fantastic. He said that.
Thank you.
I was saying on a stream earlier, I think it was, that, I mean, how can something like missing a penalty impact you too deeply when you've got someone like Saka on the team? If you'd want anyone to talk you through like the psychological aftermath, then it would be Bukayo Saka. And Martinelli did say in his post-match interview that yeah, he was thinking about it all night. But the next morning, like, he got up, brushed himself down, and then to score the first, I think it was the first goal, wasn't it? Was just amazing. On Saka's weak foot pass to him scoring on his weak foot. It's just outstanding, outstanding. I'm really pleased for him. So yeah.
Sam, your thoughts on Martinelli's comeback story?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's ever in doubt. I think he's a player clearly that doesn't kind of hang on to stuff that's happened in the past. He's done this now a few times. His confidence just seems to kind of have almost no bounds, really. So yeah, it just, yeah, I guess it's what it is. He kind of just said, I suppose that's a good way to look at it, but it's easier said than done, isn't it? Once you've missed, when you know ultimately it's your fault that they weren't at the Europa League, but obviously it's not affected him, so that's good.
Yeah. To address Niall in the chat, I will get into the injuries and stuff after we've rounded up the match, and I'll bring the comment up then. So, what I think we'll do now, we'll talk about we got that sort of early-ish goal, but then there seemed to be a long period where Palace were getting more into the game, and although they've not had a great time, I think they're one or two sides that have not actually won a Premier League game or a league game in the whole calendar year so far. You still feel that there's a bit of a threat in that side, especially with Wilf Zaha, who did have a couple of opportunities in the game. I think there was one, a rather lucky sort of save. It could have ended up very much like Emi Martinez, where it's sort of the balls come out, hit the post, yeah, exactly, at Ramsdale, and then it went for a corner. It could have very easily gone in, but they do, although they're struggling a little bit, I do think Palace do have a bit of a threat up there. Posh?
Yeah, I think Palace did have a few good chances there, and there was quite a few dangerous moments in the first half. And I think, did Zaha hit the post? That's what you were referring to.
That's
and
what I'm
Ramsdale
referring
just
to, yeah.
got a hand to it. Yeah, I was very pleased for Ramsdale there. He kept us out of danger, and there were some opportunities there where you could have think, okay, we could have been in trouble there. Luckily, we weren't, so that's good.
Going round in the circle again, Fram?
Yeah, Zaha's class. I really rate him. Won him at Arsenal. I just think he's awesome. Like the physical nature of his game, and like the never say die attitude. Like, he's a strong guy. But I think he's kind of, Elise is good as well, but the rest of the team isn't up to his level, and there's only so much you can try and get done on your own when the rest of your team is like not defending very well and stuff, and you're letting in goals at the other end. I just think he couldn't do enough to save Palace that time, but he is class. I really rate him. So
Zaha has also been linked with us for about a decade or so. So
I know, just bring him here. Imagine what he would be like with the quality of players around him and like the service that we've got. I'd love to see it, but I know it's a bit of a pipe dream.
Well, I'll ask Sam next then. I mean, personally, yeah, I would have taken Wilf probably a couple of years ago after his first spell at Palace, actually. I personally think that bridge might have sailed. That one might have sailed. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much. I think he's kind of destined to kind of play out his final days at Palace almost. Because realistically, he kind of hasn't got many years left, because I believe he is 30 something, right?
Yeah, it's got to be about that, hasn't he?
So realistically, he's not got that long left. I don't think you get, if you sign a Zaha now, I don't think you get by any means kind of the best Zaha at all. And putting it quite frankly, I didn't really think I'd ever say this, but he's never going to get into the team that we have at the moment either. And I don't particularly think he's going to be happy. He doesn't strike me as somebody that would be happy to be a bench player either. Going into Sunday, my only worry was the fact that they're going to have a new manager and that every player was going to play out their skin because they knew they were kind of fighting for the place in the team now, which thankfully didn't happen. But I kind of half expected that, knowing that they've got someone incoming. But thankfully that didn't happen.
Apparently they really liked Vieira as well. Apparently the team really did. I think it was such an unfair sacking, and to hear the Arsenal fans singing Vieira's name as well, I don't think they were like in a good headspace, the players. They were probably a bit annoyed and a bit...
Yeah, I don't think the Palace fans were particularly too thrilled about it either.
The chairman's face throughout the match was very funny.
I do think it was a little bit harsh, but I do also look at it in the way that probably Palace are looking at it and realising they're 3/5 points off third to last and bottom. So they're trying to do something before they're in completely dire straits. They're in pretty dire straits now.
It was a gamble. Let's hope it pays off.
Yeah, their kind of thinking was, let's do something. I'm guessing, anyway. I'm obviously not the chairman of Crystal Palace, but
you're not.
No,
they might be bringing back Roy.
He could go work with Wolf.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I could do impressions too, guys.
I love that guy. I love Roy.
But realistically, who are they going to? There's not many managers around that's going to be somewhat massively better than Vieira at the minute. So I think they've somewhat shot themselves in their foot as well, because they're going to have to get someone that's a bit of a risk and a gamble. But
I think Big Sam should come back.
He always seems to get a mention, doesn't he? So I think we're sort of moving it on a little bit. So it seemed for me getting a little bit frustrating. We couldn't add to our goal tally. We're getting very close to half time. I think we're about 42, 43 minutes. And Saka gets his goal. Lovely little bit of play on the right-hand side by Ben White as well. Getting right up with the play, supporting Saka off, sort of recycling the play and playing that ball to Saka. And that left foot finish was a bit special, I feel.
Yes, it was very good from Saka, once again being the legend that he is this season. And 2-0, nothing to complain about. A very good goal, very good finish from him as well. And what more can I say? Saka has been one of our best players this season. I absolutely love this man. I think he's brilliant. And if we do win the league, I want to see him have that captain's armband for the last few minutes of the last game of the season, so he can be the one that lifts the trophy first.
He deserves it. Yeah. But I think Odegaard's done really well as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you want to add anything more on Saka, dear Fran?
There's not. I could talk about him for hours, just how amazing he is, and the main thing is his overcoming of adversity. I always go back to the Euros and that moment and how that's just propelled him on. Under pressure, you either break or become a diamond. He's become a diamond. Incredible player. Just we're so lucky to have him. I've heard that his contract is basically signed and stuff. They just haven't announced it yet, and I really hope that's the case. Because but I think with Martinelli, who else was it? Was it Saliba that signed?
Yes.
Yeah. Seeing the others sign will make the others sign. So we just I can't stress how much I want to keep hold of him. He's just the best player, the best guy. Just absolutely love him. He was amazing. And he's getting the goals now. I mean, we all saw the potential in him, but we said he's got to have those numbers. He's got to be converting all this excitement and talent into goals. And that's what he started to do this season. So he's just hopefully going to go from strength to strength. And we're so lucky to have him. What a player.
I think there's two more things I want to add to that as well. The maturity he's showing on the field as well. He even showing that on the interview or match of the day with Martin Keown and just the excitement in the squad, but keeping it to a level. And the other thing he's bringing is the assists. Now, he ended the game with double figures on the assists and double figures on the goals.
First player since Sanchez, I think, I read, to get that in a season.
I think what Saka probably has more hit on his side is the consistency. Sam, your thoughts?
I just hope I never have to hear that name again, but there we are. It makes my skin crawl every time I hear it.
At least Saka doesn't spend too much time with his dogs, though, so that's all right.
Thanks for that, mate.
Give him a statue already. I think just rock up a new platform and just give him a statue already. Why not?
Fair. Well, we'll get the fun together. We'll do a GoFundMe or something, and we'll make it happen. So,
you could do, I suppose. But yeah, it is what it is. He just seems to score every single game, or at least has a massive influential part in every single game.
Sometimes though, like, he's not that influential for periods of the game, but you keep him on, you notice he kind of fades a little bit, but then out of nowhere, like, he's just scored or assisted. Like, he's delivering, like, with the end result. So yeah, sorry to interrupt, Sam.
Yeah. Also, just going off tangent a little bit. I don't know how Southgate. I'm pleased that Ben White hasn't gone with the England camp. I'm pleased because he won't have injuries. But watching that at the weekend, I don't know how he could possibly make an excuse as to why he hasn't took him after that.
I think there was some sort of like interpersonal like fallout or some, I don't know, the way the media span it was that like Ben had a bad attitude or like wasn't getting on with other people. I don't know whether he is like a cheeky guy, like he can be. You've seen him in like interviews.
Where's Ramsdale?
I know, but like Ben can be like rude. So I don't know whether he just like upset Gareth or something, because for footballing reasons, it's absolutely ridiculous that he's not in the England squad. I think anyone from any other team would. It's just madness. But Gareth, we know Gareth chooses his favourites, who he likes the most. So.
Yeah, his excuse was that he sees him as a centre back. That was along his excuse was that he sees him as a centre back and he hasn't played at centre back. But
right,
he's played.
If his name was Benny Maguire, he'd be starting regularly. So
or
he's played
Benny
in a completely different position that wasn't his starting position for the whole season, and been probably one of the most consistent players that we've had all season. So that's just I could go on for ages about that, but probably best.
We'll talk about England because I have lots to say about them.
Okay, well, we'll come to that in just a bit.
On another stream.
Cool. So we'll bring up BX's comment here. Everyone earning their medals and the goals going around everybody. So second half, not a lot of time's gone by, and goal king himself, Xhaka. Who'd have thought he's got his second goal in 2 games? I love the old celebration with his daughter as well. Have you seen the pictures on the Twitter machine?
Yeah,
it's nice to see. And like I said, the goals going everywhere. Xhaka playing with a smile on his face.
Yeah, he's a goal machine. He's banging them all in. I'm pleased that Xhaka got another goal. I remember his fantastic goal against Sporting, and that was very good. And I'm pleased that he's got another goal against Palace. I think it's a no-brainer what I'm about to say. This has been his best season in an Arsenal shirt so far. I'm very pleased that at time of recording, he is putting the red cards to one side and is actually focusing on doing good in the midfield. And I'm very pleased. He's definitely had this kind of new persona to him, and I'm pleased that he's focused on his football, and I'm just pleased that he's getting goals, he's putting in good performances, and I've just felt like we've seen a new side of him this season, and fingers crossed, long may it continue.
I'd like to say as well, a bit of a redemption, if you recall him a couple of years ago in the Palace game when he was captain and he got substituted off. He's come a long way since them days. Fran?
We don't talk about that match. No, I'm kidding. I think
we've moved on.
it's such like a fairy tale moment. The fact that he's then scored and got the whole crowd singing his name at the same fixture. Just on a human like level, the story, the redemption. I was saying this earlier. Like, I absolutely love it. How many people after that sort of a falling out with the fan base would think like, no, you know what? Like, I'm not going anywhere. I know he flirted a little bit with, was it Roma? But realized that was going to happen. Then thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to stay here and I'm going to fix this. And a lot of that is credit to him, but then Arteta's found like the perfect role for him in this team, where he doesn't have so much defensive responsibility. He's got room to go forward, be creative. He's not the last man when the team breaks, which was where all the Reds were coming from. It's just such a beautiful redemption story, and I love him. I know so many of us wanted to leave, but the fact that he stuck with it, you know, there's hope for anyone.
Long-term storytelling.
Beautifully put, Bosh.
There is hope for anyone in all walks of life for redemption. So
the BX says Xhaka was a real one amongst the squad of fakes we had. The cream that rises to the top. That sounds a bit like Manchester Man Randy Savage, doesn't it, Bosh? But anyhow. Oh, doesn't matter. Okay. But yeah, so Xhaka for you, Sam. What would you like to say about him and his character?
Yeah, I kind of think that we're almost a little bit forgetting as to why he is playing like he is at the moment, and that's because we've been able to keep Partey fit. I think if we had if Partey had been injured, I think we'd still have a completely different story. I think it's kind of because of Partey that Xhaka has been able to not have all that responsibility of protecting the back four. So I think we can pin it all on Granit Xhaka because obviously he's playing football and he's the person doing it, but I don't think we can kind of underestimate what Partey's done in that aspect.
I think they work off each other extremely well. It's the best that we've seen out of Xhaka in terms of consistency, and it's just like I say, it's a perfect redemption story. It's nice to see BX is a wrestling fan amongst us as well. We'll explain to Fran later on. It's fine, but yeah. So we'll sort of try and wrap this game up a little bit because this is all going. It's sort of over half hour now, so we'll talk about. Palace
can I just also mention one thing regarding Xhaka? I remember when I first joined the back in the Canon Chatter days, when I first joined the Twitter group that we had, the men's chat along group, and the first message I saw was, "This group chat is a Xhaka free zone." To which my first message was, "The first thing I saw is Xhaka free zone. I'm gonna love this group." And now look how far both Granit and us have come.
We have all blossomed, I think is the best way I can put that.
Forgiveness and putting the club first. No grudges in the Arsenal fan base.
So. Well, I think
Arsenal fan base holding no grudges. What are you on about?
At least in this situation.
Yeah. I think Arteta has a large part to play in this whole situation with Xhaka as well. Because if you recall, Arteta got the manager's position, and then, or he was, I suppose, head coach at the time, wasn't he? I think, and he sort of sat him down and he sort of explained how much that he wanted him, and I think it was very much a case of, this is what I want to do, and we'll work around this situation. And
got time and time again, Arteta sees something in players that all of us think is just baffling. Like when we signed Rambo, when we signed Ben White, backing Xhaka. Who else is there? Gabriel Magalhaes. Like most of the players he's brought in, we've thought, what's he doing? And time and again, we've seen what he saw in Xhaka and why all these managers have kept him around. Just found the right position for him.
Absolutely. It's nice to see the chat figures going up as well. Look at this. It's a good one tonight.
I want to shout out. I want to shout out my sister who's watching. Hi, Lottie.
Hi, Lottie. Haven't seen you in a little while. Hope you're okay.
Yeah, dude.
Cool. So Palace get a sort of a foot into the game with a bit of a scrambled equaliser. I won't make any jokes this time, Posh. But what was interesting was
we'll get banned from YouTube if we do.
No, I won't go there. But I just wonder a little bit concentration levels. If you recall the play that led to the goal, what had happened was there was a bit of I think Ben White was up there, and I think maybe someone else sort of almost celebrating the fact that they got the ball away for a corner, and unfortunately, Schlupp managed to find a little bit of space in that penalty area, and he managed to bundle it in from there. What are your thoughts on their goal back?
It was disappointing that we couldn't get a clean sheet. So which is always a bit of a bummer. But I think being you do, or I do anyway, always get a niggling feeling that you go, oh God, we've conceded. What if the unthinkable happens? Yeah. Oh no, we're not going to mess up a 3-0 lead, are we? No, it'll be one of the most Arsenal things to happen. But we didn't, thank God for that. I wasn't really worried. There was a bit of side of me that thought, but we were still in the lead. I was comfortable. Yeah. We still played quite well. We looked comfortable on the ball, but it's just disappointing that we couldn't get a clean sheet.
Absolutely. Fran, you felt kind of the same?
Yeah, you saw how frustrated Rambo was as well. Like he was like smashing the ground, like Hulk smash type thing. And I think it's definitely something they're aware of, the set pieces. Yeah, they're working on it. They've got 2 weeks now, at least quite a lot of them, to work on it. And we know that they're aware of that, and hopefully they'll sort it out, because we can't afford to be doing that against the likes of Liverpool, City. We just got to keep the concentration up on the corner kicks and set pieces.
Well, I think what's interesting is that was the first change we had at centre-half all season in Premier League terms, as with Rob Holding kept playing instead of Saliba. Literally, they've been absolutely in what's the word? They've been irreplaceable in terms of that. So, and then of course Gabriel had played every minute until sort of the last 5 in this game. But I think Noel Kane's possibly mixing up one Lottie with another, but. This is Lottie's in Fran's sister, not Lottie B from Cannon Chatter. There you go. Anything to add on the Palace thing for their goal?
Well, no, because it was it didn't mean anything, so I think we just skipped past it pretty quickly.
We'll skip past it very quickly then. So we kind of
football.
It didn't happen. Nothing to worry about. It's fine. And well, we just managed to finish the game off. I thought this was quite a nice move. We had Jesus involved in it, who came on the sub. We had Kieran Tierney, who they both came on shortly after the Palace goal that obviously didn't happen. So I think we were better set up defensively anyway. So I think Jesus played it on the left-hand side. Tierney put the cross in. Saka managed to find himself nicely in the centre, and he put that ball in just lovely, and we finished the game off. And there's my lovely fantasy football points. Thank you very much.
I got 17 points this week. It was terrible.
Someone got 30 points. He had him as captain.
I got 69.
Nice.
Oh, they're both.
I'm not even making it up. I'll show you later.
That is
all right, thanks.
Did you triple captain him then?
I just captained him, and then obviously with my other picks, I'll show you all later.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought he single-handedly gave you those number of points. Okay.
There's a lot of bonus points.
I gave up on it weeks ago, but just to give you all a laugh. I got 15 points in total last week.
Oh,
good effort. Well
in
done.
Total.
That's the thing. Whenever I do like fantasy football, I do it in the first few weeks of the Premier League, and then I forget about it. That's my issue with it.
I made too many transfers at the start, not realising, and I gave myself like a minus 32 for 1
Oh,
week.
no.
So it was written off from there, really.
Jeez.
Never mind. Okay, then. So, well, do you know what? I think that pretty much covers everything that we need to cover in terms of this game. So what I think I'd like to do, we'll sort of talk about a few other things that are going on in terms of like up to date kind of situation, if you like. So
Mhm.
I think probably if I just have a look over on my branding, because I've been busy behind the scenes here today,
Ooh,
guys.
exciting.
So we'll mention Tomiyasu first. We'll go for that because we are an Arsenal channel. It does seem like Tomiyasu potentially is out from the season. We kind of briefly spoke about this yesterday, didn't we? But I feel it's a real big blow for him. In terms of not just for this season, but I will think there might be a bit of a question mark on how his future holds. He seems to be able to sort of play a couple of games, and he picks up another injury. I think it's just a bit sad. I think he's just had a bit of rotten luck over the last year with injuries and personal situations and stuff. We obviously wish him well and stuff, but I kind of asked Posh this one yesterday, so we'll skip over. We'll go to Fran if you like.
Yeah, it's a real shame, and it feels harsh to like question his future. But at the end of the day, like he's not staying fit, not through his own fault. You know, he's missed. It was Curtis Shaw on stream today saying this season and last season he's missed 34 Premier League games. So yeah, it's a real shame. We know he's quality, but I think we may have to look for a backup who's going to be a bit more reliable. Yeah, it's a real shame. But nothing against the guy. I think he's great. So, yeah.
So, shall we do as BX says and bring back Maitland-Niles?
Sainsbury.
I think that's a no from Sam.
It's just really frustrating because
Pascal Segan available.
I think bring back the loanees to play with you throughout the summer, and like I trust Arteta to kind of make a judgment call on how they're looking and whether they're good enough to integrate into the squad. I guess I don't know.
It's just kind of frustrating though because he was just starting to get some of the form back that we saw for the majority of last season. And kind of he was just kind of getting back to that full fitness. So it's annoying because we were starting to see the best side of him again. Which kind of because he was playing really well, then got injured, then came back and kind of looked a complete shadow of himself, and then kind of just got back into it, and now he's injured again. So does that put you back on the path where he's going to look a shadow of himself when he's back? I hope not. But it could be.
I'll bring up the comment from BX. For 10 games, I'll do it with Maitland-Niles. I'm not so sure there's a recall option on the deal. I'm pretty certain that because he was kind of set in his I want to play in midfield situation, and I think everybody else looking at him thinking, actually, I think you're playing the fullback. That's kind of what he's exactly. I think his time is probably done. And as for Balogun, he's pulling up trees over in France. He's breaking records. He's doing fantastically well. Whether he can break into the Arsenal side or not, I'm not sure. I really don't know. We'll have to see what Arteta wants to do in the summer on that one.
We have
decisions to make.
You kind of think you've got to remember the standard of the league that he's in and the standard of the Premier League as well. It's very easy to say, oh, yeah, he's scoring loads of goals, which he is. I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
But the teams that are probably lower down in the Premier League are probably some of the standard of some of the teams that are quite high up in the French league. So it's very, very different.
I know. I want to see it though, but I mean, it's got to say something. I don't know if this is still the stat that he's second only to Mbappe. It's got to say something. Let's see what he can do. Bring him back. Yeah.
Well, BX says Bellingham definitely needs to stall next season, but having him now would have been a huge boost. Yeah, it would have been, but
He needed that loan though.
Yeah, he did, definitely, because if you think about it, so me and Posh have spoken on a previous time about when he came in them brief times in the season where he did play a couple of Premier League minutes, and he looked very lost. He obviously wasn't ready for it. But even prior to that, the loan spell over at Middlesbrough in the Championship was a tough time for him as well. I'm glad for him and his career that he is scoring goals over in France, and that's great for him.
Saliba did very well when he was on loan in that league as well. So
like doing an apprenticeship almost, isn't it? I suppose with the younger players.
Realistically, though, he probably needs the rest of this season and probably another season on loan as well, because if you at the moment you look at it and you go, if Jesus is fit, and even probably I don't know, probably not, but if Jesus is fit, he's getting nowhere near the side as of yet. So that means to me that he probably needs another season out on loan, like Saliba went a couple of seasons and then come back the player that he has. So yeah, I would be tempted to say he probably needs another year somewhere else as well.
I don't know, but we doubted, like you say, the difference in the standard of the leagues. As BX says, we thought like, oh, Saliba going to cut it like back in the Prem, the big Prem, and look, he's like excelled. So I don't know.
Fair enough. Well, we'll leave that one for now. I'm gonna throw a couple of points to Sam, because he's quite an expert on the ladies' game as well, and I've got two bits of news that I want to talk about. Hello, Luca. It's nice to see you there. And Niall Kane says, don't understand when you get some Arsenal fans calling the French League a farmers' league. The chat's getting busy. Yeah.
Saliba and Balogun seem to do quite well in this Farmers League, and when Saliba came back, he's been a very good defender. So can't be a Farmers League if you're improving like that.
Yeah, cool. So Lucas saying, you okay? Hello, Lucas. And Niall, yes, Brad. Yeah, all good. Yeah. So I was going to ask Sam, are we all there? I can't. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you went silent for a second, but you're there.
I think I went a bit jumpy and stuff. Internet probably. I want to ask you two things. Your feelings on Zimberger signing an extension today on her contract, keeping her at Arsenal until the end of next season.
Yeah, it's kind of, she is a key part of that team. You take her out that side, and that's not that same side at all, because she's made it completely her own position. And yeah, it just struck me, because obviously you can, when a goalkeeper's down your end of the pitch, you can kind of tell more about them. And she was the other end, so she was obviously on our end. All the goals went up the other end, and she just went crazy and started celebrating with the fans as if she was a fan herself. And it was just amazing to see. And you can tell, that's what the club kind of means to her. So yeah, I was really pleased about
that. What do you know about Jodie Taylor? Because
not a great deal, because I believe when we had her before, it was 5 or 6 years ago. So that's way past my knowledge of. But I believe it's good, because at the moment we've kind of only got fully fit side. I don't think she gets into the side, but it's good as a backup, because we've only kind of got Stina at the minute that's scoring goals from up front. So I believe that's why she's been brought in, to kind of cover as kind of a backup. But who knows?
Yeah, well, fair enough. Because I know the name from somewhere, but it's deep in my memory bank as well.
Yeah, I
But
believe
yeah,
that.
so the
she
story is,
was
of course,
with us, like, yeah, I believe she was with us like 5 or 6 years ago. So yeah, that was a long time ago.
I believe the situation
wanna-
with Jodie Taylor is that I think she was out of contract, so therefore that she could sign a short-term deal. So yeah, that's the story on that one. So yeah, we'll see if she ends up on the field. It's nice to have a bit of extra experience cover. I think is what we're going to get at. Next subject, I think we'll probably use this just to finish it off because it's quite a big story in the news today, and it refers to the situation in the Man United game yesterday, Man United against Fulham, where it all kicked off a little bit with Mitrovic. So basically,
I looked away. I looked away for 2 minutes because I was changing the fish, and then suddenly it was 2-1. So you guys are gonna have to enlighten me on what actually happened.
All right, so I can talk about one of the goals, and this is where it's all kicked off, and basically,
Yeah, the kicking off bit.
So I can't remember even which United player it was managed to get clear of Leno and everyone, but there was a shot that came in. Willian, who was playing, he didn't play against Arsenal the week before, but he was playing and he got his hand away in the way of the goal line. It was a deliberate handball, went to VAR, and it all went a bit nasty from there. And if I bring up the picture of Mitrovic, it's all zoomed in. I can't see it properly. Is that better? There we go.
Yeah, I can see it. It's just in the middle of the. Yeah.
It looks beautiful. There we go. So Willian got sent off for the obviously preventing the goal scoring opportunity. Mitrovic shoved the referee, much in the style of Paolo Di Canio did back in day against Arsenal for Sheffield Wednesday. There'll be people down here perhaps might not know that story, but I thought you might be posh. So Chris Sutton's statement is up there, and I'll read it. It says on Mitrovic's behaviour, it will impact grassroots level. There have been a lot of kids watching. He should get a 10-game ban for what he did, and Bruno Fernandes should have had one too for the similar kind of incident, which is there. So there's the shove on the top there from yesterday's game. And of course, Fernandes, referee over, I think that was the Liverpool game, wasn't it?
I think Mitrovic.
The comments are going a bit wild.
The way Mitrovic did it is a lot more intentional than how Bruno did it, I think. From how I see it.
Yes, I agree.
Mitrovic actually looking at him thinking, I'm gonna push you now, mate. There you go. Like that's how I see it.
No, if you watch it, he was trying to like get the ref to fight him. He was like, "You want some, mate? You want some?" It was totally out of line.
Like something out of a pub in Dartford. Like
or my local. Like it's out of line. It's ridiculous. There's a line. Okay, I understand.
Wouldn't have that behaviour in the Gardeners.
I understand giving it a go, like verbally with the ref, but the second you like contact them, I actually agree with taking quite a hard line approach, because you don't want to even remotely encourage that or say that that's okay to kids watching. I mean, my team are horrible to the ref, my local six aside. Like there's verbal like altercations like that we hate that ref. Okay. I'm not playing, I'm watching, but never ever would we think of like contacting the ref. That's like a sacred line. You just can't do it. But it's the debate because Bruno isn't getting that much stick for it and Mitrovic is.
What are your thoughts about Sutton saying he should get a 10-match ban? Because this sort of compares with, maybe I should go to Porsche with this because he'll remember the incident when So Di Canio knocked over Paul Alcock was the referee. And this was against Sheffield Wednesday against Arsenal. And we just knocked him off and he got a 10-match ban for it. I think quite similar.
I was about to ask if he did get a 10-match ban.
I'm pretty certain he did, yes.
I
I was watching Laura Woods earlier on and on TalkSport. Pretty sure she was saying that there was a 10-match.
Yeah.
So do we think that's about right?
I mean, based on how I think the same situation happened with Di Canio back in the day, I think there is argument for that. Not saying it will happen, I don't know, but I think I may understand the argument then for that kind of thing.
He wasn't actually knocked down, though, was he? It was more of like a, come on, mate, like, give it to me. There wasn't intent to knock him down or harm him, so I don't think it should be as bad as a 10-match. Say maybe a 5.
Yeah.
It's still very irresponsible. It's just a head loss moment, and
it was.
I do kind of think you've got to set an example, though. I do think you've kind of got to set an example as it won't be kind of it won't be kind of taken lightly. So I think he should be given the 10 game on principle more than actually is needed, or because it kind of will then show that you can't get away with that. I think that's what needs to happen, more for the fact that when people know they can't get away with it.
But then what defines that? Because Bruno touched the ref as well. Do you know what I mean? It's just
but I think he was more like just out of the way. And he didn't.
He was more. I believe he was going for like a free kick or a throw in or something, and he kind of was kind of get out of the way.
Just in the way. Excuse me for a minute.
That's
like that.
very different to physically going up to the referee. It wasn't just the push though. It was the fact after that he's like square in the face about this.
He was asking for a scrap.
Bruno wasn't.
So whereas Bruno wasn't, he was kind of. I would love to say that Bruno, because he's horrendous, because he's just cheap. But as much so, I'd love to say that. But I just think it needs to be done in principle, because it was like square. It was almost like squaring up to him as well, as if he was gonna
it's got to be knocked down, that kind of behavior, because teenagers and stuff watching will think squaring up's cool. Mitrovic has done it. Nah.
Yeah, because it only takes the next Sunday for someone to go, I'm going to do a Mitrovic to the ref in an under-6 league or whatever. And then that happens, doesn't it? So because we know that what they see on the TV is what they're going to do then the following Sunday. I think it needs to be dealt with 10 match easy.
Yeah, good point.
Oh
my God, we got you twice.
Here we go.
I mean, what more could you want? But 2 of me. But I was going to hit the private chat button, because I said I was going to want to wrap it up quite soon, because we're hitting up on the hour. So,
I've got to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll just cover the comment. Mitrovic looked frustrated. Yes, he was very frustrated, but I don't think there was any place for what he did in that game. That's pretty much where I want to leave it, I think. So before we all disappear and enjoy our evenings, would you like to go around? We'll go Posh, Fran and Sam. Tell us your socials, please.
You can follow me on Twitter at PoshBertie and Instagram at BertieWanless. Fran?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, goal art. So the word goal, then the word art, and then ZO. Find me on Instagram and not really Twitter. Twitter I go by Scenery Sketches, but YouTube, and we're putting my new art video up on YouTube. So thank you very much, BX Gunner, as well, for sticking with us, a wrestling fan. And Niall, thank you very much. And sorry if I haven't got back to anyone's messages. As these guys know, I'm really terrible with messages. So
all right, mate. You're all right. And Mr. Sam Wilson, sir.
So Sam Wilson, on screen with the 1 in the eye on Twitter, and then Sam Wilson AFC on Instagram. I don't know why I was thinking there, but yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much. You can find me at Goonerly Meads. Thank you, everybody who's been in today, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.